Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Wonder Snatch. Today I have another very special guest. He was described as the youngest drag queen in Singapore and he's here to join me on my channel today. Arya Dunn. Say hi.
Hi everybody.
Hi.
But actually I have to correct you on that. It's not exactly the youngest drag queen anymore because that was a few years ago.
2 years ago. But you
and even then it was just like
the youngest working drag queen in Singapore.
One of the...
Today we'll be doing a couple of very interesting looks for you, and we're going to try to go into the festive season with an angelic and a demonic look, alright? And if that's something you want to see, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and ring that bell for post notifications. Alright, Farah, we'll see you in a bit. Farah, I call you Farah. Sorry. Okay, Arya. Okay.
You don't know who's on your show?
Arya and I will see you in a bit. Our brows are blocked, so we're back, and Arya Dunn, welcome to my channel. How are you doing?
Oh, it's nice. Like, I see you've been doing a lot of things on here. So exciting.
Yes. The perfect place for a bedroom queen is YouTube. So all I do is just do looks at home and and post them on YouTube and Instagram.
Bedroom queen. I like that.
Yeah, no, it's the best. I don't have to wear shoes. Shoes are the worst part of drag, right? I'm going to paint myself white for my angelic look.
Okay. Leaving me in the dust.
I think the first time I actually met you in person was at Becca's sewing class, remember that?
Oh, was that the first time?
You're quite artistic, right? You have a diploma or something in fashion design?
No, not fashion design. I was in LaSalle College of the Arts for fashion media. I guess that's where my drag kind of like differs from other people because of what I consume lah. So I guess I consume a little bit more weirder stuff and also forced to consume because I have to produce right in school. So it's like a lot of visuals. I do try to make my outfits and then I try to create different visuals. So you can see like I experiment with Photoshop, I experiment with lighting, and you inspired by a lot of things that I see and consume back in school.
So how did you start doing drag? Because of school, or were you already interested in this before?
I actually started doing drag, not really drag, I was just using my face, exploring my face as a canvas and a medium. So it was from one of my school projects when I was in year 1 at LaSalle. Because it was called a circle project. You just do whatever you fit it to a circle. So I just like, my face is kind of round, so I'm just gonna use my face as a medium. And then sort of like from face painting became like, you can't talk about face painting without makeup. You can't talk about makeup, a lot of makeup on a person without drag queen popping up. And then that's when I found RuPaul's Drag Race. And then it all spiraled out.
I think there's some faces that really are the best for drag. Like for example, the round, like you know Kimchi has that round face and really, really flat eye space also. And that's really good for just drawing on all sorts of patterns. I have this horrible Neanderthal brow. That is very hard to do certain looks. So when I try to do the big looks like the Kimchi looks, certain angles you can see my brow bone, so it's not the best.
I actually do kind of have like, I don't know, like it pops out a little bit as well, more than the average like Asian, I would say, like at least the East Asians, because their faces are usually pretty flat, right? You have to work around it because it doesn't create, it already has a natural shadow over there that you have to cancel before you want to do anything.
So how did you come up with your name? Very, very unique name, Arya Dunn. Are you done? Arya Dunn?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really stupid. I knew I wanted to be a punny. The first season of Drag Race I saw was season 5, I think. I was like looking at all the other drag names, and then from season 5 I went to season 4, and then I saw Sharon Needles, and I didn't know that it was a pun, and I thought it was so brilliant when I discovered that. And then season 6 at Courtney Act, I was this close to being Naomi Hart, but I thought that was too sexual. I was just like trying to look at online for like baby names. I'm fucking lazy, so I set up with like A, and then so Arya, because I was watching Game of Thrones at the time. So Arya Star, I thought it was a nice name, and then Arya is also sort of it can be used as RU. I used to go to church and the pastor has the same last name, and I thought it was so funny for me to put this as my last name. So it became Arya Dunn, and I use it for drag, and he's like some holy pastor or whatever.
It's quite a sexy name if you think about it, you know? It's like,
but
is it
look
just
at
lying
me
there?
As being sexy.
Are you done? Look at that.
Okay, at first I thought it was funny because I can use that as my catchphrase, right? So I talk to people like, are you done? Are you done? And then it became like people asking me, like, because when you first start out, you're very slow, right? So it became like everybody using that against me, and I'm just like, oh man, I might have made a mistake.
Okay, I'm gonna pop this shirt off to start painting my body. So, do you have a drag family? I read online that you put Yeast Monster in drag for the first time. So, Yeast Monster is another drag queen in Singapore.
Yeah.
Is it right? So are you considered her mum?
No, I've never tried to claim that. We just did it for fun, and then like she was just very curious about it, and then I just put her in drag. But then now she has taken it and went a completely different direction.
Yeah, she's amazing.
What you're supposed to do, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like she completely made it her own, and yeah, I wouldn't call myself her mother though. I mean, I can barely be responsible for myself. You're so fast that I'm like not even starting with the eyeshadow. I'm just doing my base. I'm so slow.
What sequence do you usually do your makeup? You do
eyes first.
You do eyes first? I remember the time I saw you backstage at Riot, your eye makeup is really, really gorgeous up close. It's really nice and blended.
Oh my god, thank ya.
No, really.
Yeah.
I get mesmerized by people's eye makeup. I can just stare at it for hours. And the brows also. I'm obsessed with brows.
On a drag queen, the eye makeup usually really holds the look to or makes the look. Because when you look at someone, you look at their eyes first. So
yeah, eyes are windows to the soul.
Yeah. I'm actually recently watching this anime. It's about this boy who, in hopes to try to save his friend, consumed this demon's finger. And then he's taken over by that demon. And when he's in his demon form, he has like an extra eye under his eye. So like I'm trying to see if I can get inspired by that today.
Oh, cool.
And like create something.
So that's the inspiration for today's look.
You were saying.
Inspirations do come a lot from anime, right? Looking at your looks, a lot of them have this kawaii anime aesthetic to them.
But I also try to make it like a little bit dark. It's like when you take a second look, or actually you look at the elements. I want it to be like cutesy, and then like then actually it's kind of fucked up. Like if you look closely.
Yeah, I think that's what's so cool about drag. I mean, in my opinion, drag queens not only are the mascots for the LGBT community, but we are also like channeling pop culture. I really like it when things are like mashed up or there's a reference here. And whether or not you get the reference or not, you can still appreciate the art. But if you do get the reference, it's an extra punchline for the audience.
Yeah, it's like a surprise Easter egg.
I think you recently posted this how much have you changed challenge on Can you tell me about that very first look that you posted? Was that the first time you ever did drag?
No, that was not the first time I ever did drag. Oh my god. Because actually before I left the house in drag, I practiced makeup at home for a year. So that was like a year in, and I was still so bad at it. It was actually at Riot, one of the earlier Riot shows. Oh, my makeup was not it. I was not even performing. I was just in drag. I was wearing a
But did you feel like you were the most beautiful person in the world?
Oh, in that photo, oh my god, I feel like I was the one performing, and I'm not even. I wasn't even.
At the time, right? You probably felt like so beautiful. I remember the first time I did drag also. I mean, looking back now, the pictures look so busted, but
awful. That feeling when you look back and it's just like, ugh.
But you know, we all have to start somewhere, so.
Yeah, I mean, like if you don't look back and cringe, like it means that you never really grew. Sorry, I'm gonna get exposed because like they're seeing how slowly I'm doing my makeup and how bad it looks right now. They're gonna be like, oh my god, Arya actually doesn't know how to do makeup.
Oh no, it always looks crappy. It always looks really crappy before anything, right? I mean, what am I now? I just look like
Okay, but like I can get the gist of what you're doing. Yeah, for me, I just look like I got beat. Like I got beat by someone.
I'm trying to go for these trans colors today.
Oh.
So how do you identify? Snap. I do think there is a bit of non-binary in me, but I really don't know. I'm a bit agnostic when it comes to that because in my everyday life, I definitely still identify as a cis male, and my pronouns are still he, him. It's quite difficult because even with your friends, even when I'm in drag, a lot of people still refer to me as he, him. Maybe because I still look so humongous, it's very hard to call me a she. So I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter to me. How about you?
Yeah, at first, like, I was kind of like, it doesn't really matter. Like, but then I realized that actually, no, wait, like, I think, oh shit, am I trans? Because I was trying to figure out, like, why I like drag so much, why I like being, like, especially in drag, like, why I like being perceived as a woman so much. Like, I get kind of angry when people call me him when I'm in drag. I really don't like it. But
I don't think that means you're trans. I feel it might be maybe you didn't fulfill the whole fantasy, right? Or maybe you didn't do your job well enough that you are passing off this illusion and people are still calling you he. I don't know. That's how I come to it.
Actually, I think that's where it differs because I had to look deeper than that because like I was like getting really uncomfortable. For me, it became like a thing like, oh shit, like I feel, and at some point like I was wearing makeup outside of drag, and then it started with like the body dysphoria, like I wanted like boobs and stuff like that. But then I slowly realized that, you know what, actually there is a duality that exists in me, and so I prefer they them, but you can call me either, I don't really mind. But specifically in drag, I don't want you to call me him, that's all.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is definitely a journey that a lot of drag queens and transgender people go through. So the transgender people do, some of them, figure out they're transgender by starting to do drag first, right? So the journey that you go on from your gender expression and what you actually feel when you're in drag or out of drag is really different for every single person. I think what you're saying is it's definitely specific to yourself.
Because we live in such a binary world, right? Like when we do these kind of things that challenge the concepts of gender that we were brought up with, it really starts to like dig at you, like why must this have to be this? Why can't I be born like doing this? Like why can't I be born and told that this was okay? Like why do I only find it out now? Then there was a question of things. So I think it's a good gateway for you to start questioning gender in general and how you were brought up.
And I think that's the whole thing about being non-binary, right? You don't subscribe to the binary system that that the world imposes on you. Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned earlier that your anime is a lot of your inspirations. Are there anything else that inspires you?
Honestly, I just like looking at artwork. I mean, I know that's very vague, but also the human anatomy and I like it's very wide because I just like art that makes you feel like they're inviting you into their world, inviting you into their vision. I want to see how it's just a face and it's just a bit of paint. So like how can someone like create a whole visual, create a whole look using garments, using their body as one of the main mediums, essentially is what I really like.
Yeah, you did mention that you liked this artist called Fecal Matter, right? They really use a lot of strange body modifications and Photoshop. They look really, really interesting.
But like, it's that kind of thing where like it's bizarre, but you know that their perception of the world is very different. Salvia as well, like if you know Salvia on Instagram.
Salvia, yes.
Yeah, so like you can see like in her world how like creatures look like, how fairies look like. It took me a while to understand that they are trying to show you what their world looks like, which is I always thought that was very fascinating, and I try to create that.
It's like drag, but not just the person, but the whole environment.
Yeah, but I don't even think it's at this point it's like drag anymore. I mean, unless you want to take it loosely, like just drag is just like dressing up and portraying a different character. To me, it's transcendent of like it's art at this point. Like I don't really think of it as drag. I kind of like also moving forward. I want to like expand what like drag can mean.
Yeah, of course. I don't think drag is a definition of just dressing up. I think a lot of art probably has elements of drag in it, right? You're basically trying to express to the world what you feel inside, or you're trying to mash up certain ideas to poke fun at a concept. That's a big part of what drag is.
Like you are the medium, and then it becomes like a message. Like this is how you see the world. This is how you want to show people like this is my reality. This is my normal. And I think that's so cool.
I read in one of your interviews also that you were inspired by musical theatre. Is that true?
Yeah. I was very inspired by. I think my first ever number was "Don't Rain on Parade."
Oh yeah.
I did that number again, but I used a different. I think the version that Lilias White did. She sang it so beautifully and so passionately. And I performed it at Keong Saap Road when they had the urban fest or something like that. When you hear the music and you like the words like "I'll beat my drum" and then you walk away from somebody, and then it's just so freeing. I just love musicals because it really brings out that side of me that's very expressive, and I think that's what drag is, right? So it really helped Arya get a start of how to like learn how to perform and like. Sorry, I'm very long-winded. I'm sorry. I sometimes feel like I talk a lot also. Is
there anything else in your pop culture diet that inspires your drag?
Yeah, I don't really consume a lot of like pop artists or like follow anyone vividly. This may surprise you, but I really like K-pop.
K-pop?
I really like. Yeah, I really like K-pop.
My boyfriend is a huge K-pop addict. Okay, BTS. Do you like BTS?
I like BTS, but they're not what I'm listening to the most right now. Because I listen to a lot of girl groups right now.
Like who?
Mamamoo and ITZY are two of my current favorites. And also many people who sing very well. Mamamoo is a K-pop group that if you want to get into, like they sing really, really well.
Oh yeah?
Their vocals are so clean.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I like musical theatre a lot is because, as I mentioned, the words mean a lot to me. So K-pop doesn't really hit me because I don't understand what they're singing. So yeah. How do you plan a performance?
I'm kind of obsessive. I will train non-stop because I know that I'm not physically able to do a lot of the tricks.
You train as in cardio?
Yeah, performing, rehearsing over again to the point where it's almost like cardio because like I will redo and redo performance. Yeah. So like I remember when I was in that duo with East Monster, like oh my god, because I get so obsessed with like I need this to be right, because like I'm very kind of like a perfectionist. Yeah, and it's just physically exhausting for another person.
For me also, when I first started, even though I'm much older than you, I do get very intense about my drag as well. So, for example, I've done 2 shows and I get my friends to help me, organize the logistics and everything. And sometimes I do feel like I might be stressing them out for something that's supposed to be for fun. Because I get very, very intense about it.
What's your horoscope?
Taurus, you?
Oh my god, I'm a Virgo.
Yeah, I think the 2 most anal and planny.
And stubborn too.
And stubborn,
like,
yes,
stubborn.
yes. Make the best drag queens because no one can get in your way. Okay, this definitely looks very, very art pop. My inspiration for this look is actually this makeup artist on Instagram called MUA Agapi. Have you come across her?
No, I don't think I have.
I'll pop up some looks and I'll link her down below. She's got these very graphic lines. I'm not done yet. This is just a base. Do you have any makeup inspirations, or do you watch a lot of makeup tutorials on YouTube?
I used to when I was first learning. Now because I sort of like I know for the most part like how things are gonna go, so I don't really watch as often anymore. But the ones that I do watch like religiously is Jackie Aina.
Oh yeah, Jackie Aina, she's great.
And Jeffree Star when he launches something, because I want to know what his collection is. Because I want to see how far he can push this brand.
What do you think about him? I mean, I do like his stuff, but every time I use his stuff and then I tag his stuff on Instagram, I get like DMs for people telling me not to use his stuff all the time.
Oh really?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
You get that. And then sometimes I use the mirror and if I hold it up, see, I even have to go and stick kimchi stickers here. I get like messages telling me to stop using his stuff.
Damn.
It's really, really toxic out there, he's so polarizing.
Yeah. At what point do you associate someone using something as like their delineation of where they stand with that topic? You know what I mean? Like just because you use a mirror, so that you bought from a racist person, like it doesn't mean you're racist. You know what I mean? Like.
But I guess what they're saying is that they don't want you to be supporting them because you know how he flaunts his wealth on his YouTube videos. He's showing off the house he just bought and all these things, and it's from people buying all his stuff that I don't know. Maybe there's a bit of jealousy as well. They don't want to be part of this flex culture,
Yeah, and I get that completely. But to me, my issue is that how we are so quick to make that assumption, because for a lot of people who when they first get into Jeffree Star when everything was okay, they bought this thing and they can't buy something else. This is the only thing that they have to use because they have bought it already. Exactly. So like you're expecting them to rebuy it. Right? Yeah, it's kind of like crazy, right? They expect people to like completely, like change their consumption habits when they have already bought those items. Not saying that they can't change what they're gonna buy, but I think it's kind of ridiculous.
I mean, I think twice before I used the Jeffree Star thing, but I really like his stuff. His cremated palette, the grayscale one, is actually really, really good for black and white looks. I really like it.
I mean, like as I was talking about Jeffree Star, I was just using Jawbreaker. Like
I saw. I went out and splattered myself with paint, and I cut my crease. I think I was trying to get this brown color, but now it looks a little bit dirty.
You splatter yourself with something brown. You might want to get that checked out.
I haven't even decided whether I want brows or not. I find that if I don't paint on brows, I look very, very manly. I definitely need brows on my face. I've tried looks without brows and cannot on. Where do you see your drag going on from here? Do you see yourself doing drag for a long time?
I do see myself doing drag for a long time, but also I'm seeing myself transitioning from like an actual drag queen who's performing and stuff. I want to cut back on the amount of performances that I do, or if I do it very selectively. I want to focus more on like the very visceral, like artistic. I want to start creating visuals. I want to have an album essentially of like pictures of me in different looks. I want to focus on like creating those visuals and brushing on my Photoshop skills, brushing on makeup skills, brushing up creating clothes that very pao ka liao, you know.
Do you watch Drag Race Canada?
Not really. I actually don't watch Drag Race anymore.
Wow, okay. The only reason why I bring it up is because there's this drag queen on that season called Jimbo. If you look up his website, he's got this whole house. His whole concept of his drag, he's more of a drag clown. He's got wigs, he's got clothes, he does costumes, he does sets, he does entire performances. So it's an entire ecosystem around his drag.
The world and the ecosystem that I was talking about, like it sounds very similar to.
Yeah, and you know, I think that's also where I see my drag going. It's like not just an ecosystem, but you know, I want to be able to use this as an avenue to help other people express themselves, and then in the confines of, you know, what I believe drag to be, which is a play on pop culture. You know, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you perform anywhere else other than Riot?
Bobby's parties sometimes.
Yes.
He will ask me to do some of the shows. Who, Bobby? I think you guys are good friends, right?
Bobby is a very good friend of mine. We've known each other for a very long time.
Yeah, I love Bobby so much. He's so amazing, and like the things that you find interesting are actually really like
all the stuff that you like.
I get
right?
inspired by things. Yeah. Oh my god, I love like the Freedom page that he curates. Oh my god, I get my life. It's so good.
So my angel is crying gold tears.
Do you watch Trixie and Katya's Queens Who Love to Watch?
Yes, I do.
And then they did like a reaction on like Glow Up season 2.
Oh yeah,
and then like
Ding
there was one
dong!
like Glow Up or whatever. It's so fucking funny. And like there's one part where the person was using gold gold tears to signify emotion, and
oh yeah.
it was so fucking funny. It's very that moment right now with you.
yeah. What role do you think you want to play as a drag queen in society?
That's such a heavy question. Like, because I mean I understand what drag means, where drag came from. Although like in Asian culture, there's a very different history of like drag performance and like gender bending kind of performances. But I understand the significance and importance of it. For me personally, I try to be that beacon of hope if I can. Because this kind of thing is not like you decide to do one. It's more like people say that, okay, like you are very inspirational. You can't say that I'm going to inspire people. People tell you that they are inspired by you. You know what I mean? So I just do my thing.
Yeah.
And
you just gotta do what you.
You just do your own thing, and then like if people love it, great. If people hate it, okay. Like you just I just. Okay, for me the main takeaway is from my role specifically as a drag queen. It's just that I'm just gonna be unapologetically myself. I'm just gonna like do what I want to do, present what I want to present, and then you do what you want with it. Even if like I'm not really saying anything very important, at least you can still hear my voice, and that's good enough for me.
And I think the whole act of doing drag itself is such a counterculture thing that people being inspired by your freedom or your you know audacity to do drag is already a statement in itself.
And I don't want to like get into, because I'm not a very good activist. I try to keep myself updated with what's happening, but I am not spearheading like movements.
I guess you mentioned earlier you are quite young. You are still 24, so at this stage you're working on yourself, right? And you really need to, as RuPaul says, really love yourself before you can love someone else. And I really think that also applies to activism. I also didn't really get into activism until much recently, and only after I really found something that I'm very passionate about to do it. I mean, it's very difficult to do activism just because you think you have to.
I don't want it to be like, okay, I'm doing drag purely for activism, because it's not. I'm not doing drag for activism. It's a good channel to push like activism stuff forward. Until I can do that, right? Like I will just take my time, because
it really has to come organically. I think just because you're gay, just because you're a drag queen, or just because you're HIV positive, something like that, doesn't mean you automatically have to go into activism for that. I think it really has to come from a journey that you finally decide that you want to do it.
Completely agree with that. Just being the way that you are unapologetically is a level of activism.
The audacity of doing drag is pretty much activism by itself already. So I don't think you really need to stress
and being
yourself
a
too much
queer
about
person
that.
in general, not just drag, right? Unapologetically yourself, don't censor yourself. Like you are
Yes.
essentially being visible, and like it's part of activism already.
Do you date, or is there something you don't want to talk about?
I mean, I think it's very hard to date.
Because you're a drag queen, or just because in being in Singapore?
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons lah. The gay community here is very narrow-minded. So
Do you listen to Joel's
I love.
podcast?
Oh my god, can we put this part in? Can we put this part in? I want to say that I love like Joel's and Kishan's podcast. It's so good and it's so funny. And it's so like fun to hear like Singaporeans talk about Singapore in a way that is not dumbed down like most Singaporean content.
No, I totally agree. I look forward to the podcast every week. They just dropped theirs. I'm ready to listen to it very soon. Their podcast is exactly all the things that I like. Pop culture, LGBT stuff, science. So, Joel and Kishan, if you want to invite me on your podcast, I'm ready. I'm expecting Becca to be on there pretty soon. They're quite good friends, right?
Yeah, I hope so, because I feel that people should hear more from Becca in general.
Yeah, Becca's really very insightful.
She's Singapore's biggest drag queen in the Brain region. Like you went to school together, right?
Yeah, we were almost the same year. I think he was 1 year older than me, and we were in ACS together.
Right. He conveniently left that part out that like he was 1 year your senior.
And we were in doing all the drama club stuff together lah. He used to do all our makeup.
Wow.
Even then, he did all our makeup. Alright, so I think we're just gonna put on some finishing touches and let Arya get into her outfit, and we'll be back with the finished look. Alright? Okay. Alright, and these are finished looks. I'm a pastel abstract angel, and Arya, what are you?
I am some demonic, kawaii, cyberpunk bitch. I don't even know, but I look so good.
Yes, I'm feeling ourselves. Alright, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and ring that post notifications bell for every time I upload a new video. And Arya, why don't you tell them where they can find you on the internet?
Right, you can find me at Arya Dunn, ARYA.DUNN on Instagram.
And a little bird tells me that you might be starting a YouTube channel yourself.
Well, we'll see how this goes, because we both know I almost died because something was wrong with my memory card. So we'll see how it goes. This is the first time. We'll see when it comes out.
Okay. And if she ever starts one, don't worry, I'll let you guys know and you can check her out, alright? And I'll link everything down below in the description as well. Alright, I'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye. Say bye, Arya.
Bye bye.